Okay, so I'm going to show you a walkthrough of another problem from section 1.1 with Graspable Math. This one I'm going to do is number 11. You're supposed to rewrite the number without the absolute value symbol and simplify the result. So here, as usual, we'll put it out. We get a nice expression set, although here they're kind of clustered on top of each other, but that's okay. And what we're going to do is go ahead and click to simplify. Now remember that the point of GM is to show you what's possible and what's not. So you'll notice you can't multiply these together. You can't distribute in. Really the only thing you can do here is execute the subtraction and then click on the absolute value bars to get rid of it. So negative 3 turns into 3, right? And then you can multiply these together and get negative 15. So there's your answer. And then notice by going to scrub mode, you can kind of inspect, okay, how did this happen? We're at the negative 5. Okay, the negative 5 just came from the negative 5, right? And this 3 was then the difference between 3 and minus 6. It was the absolute value of that. And that's how we got to 15. And very similarly, we can solve each of the rest of these. So this time I'll do it. Now notice here, we can bring that up, but that really wasn't what we wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and put those back together and just undo that and say, okay, the only useful thing it seems like I can do is click on the absolute value. And now I could execute this in a couple of different ways. What I'm going to do is show that 6 is just a negative 2 times a negative 3. And that means we can cancel the negative 2's to get negative 3, right? So that's the kind of conceptual approach there. And again, we could scrub through and look at the values, right? If we wanted to, we could say, oh, look, that 6 turned into a negative 2 and a negative 3. And the negative 3 was the result after cancellation. So this one's super interesting because you might want to say, okay, well, can I add the negative 7? Couldn't I add the absolute values together? And I can't. It won't let me. And it won't let me drag one on top of the other two. I can switch their order, right? I get a commutative property. But really then the only thing I can do is click on these absolute values to get rid of them and then combine them. So that's my answer. And again, that kind of exemplifies the goal of GM, which is to explore playing and explore sort of seeing what happens and understanding. Of course, it doesn't quite give you the reasons, right? You can pretty easily, though, create an alternative situation. So if you were talking to a student, you might want to do something like say this. Okay, well, let's say we could put those together. What would the result be? Well, it would be negative 7 plus 4, right? That's the equivalent to this here if we could just stick those things together the way that we tried to do. And if we did that, well, then we would get negative 3 because that's what negative 7 plus 4 is. We combine that, we get 3. So you can see these two strategies actually get you to different answers, right, depending on what you try.